Welcome back and welcome everybody to Coach Talk. Dave here, and today's podcast is going to be Dave here. So LJ is not with us today, and that is purely from me because I haven't told her that we're doing a podcast today, and there is a reason for this, but it's just going to be me today. So we're going to have a bit of a chat and once again have a bit of an explore and just talk about a couple of things that I was thinking about during the week. And this is related directly to LJ and her family. So I thought I just want to do something special and have a bit of a talk and maybe use some examples that might just get people thinking in a different way, and LJ is part of this. So some of you may have or may not have heard that LJ's dear mum passed away recently from illness, and so it's a great loss and we're all feeling it. And we had a wonderful funeral last week to celebrate LJ's mum's life, and it was just wonderful. So that was great, and it got me thinking about how we show up in our lives. And I know we've talked a lot in the past in a lot of our podcasts about how we show up. So important. So I just thought I was reflecting on a lot of things that I learned and a lot of things that I did not know about LJ's mum, and it really resonated with me about how she showed up in her life, and also how we already show up in our lives and how we can improve and what we can do to show up for ourselves and show up for others. For those that do a lot of coaching or have been involved in coaching, or for those that haven't, the concept of showing up is so important to us on a daily basis. It encompasses much more than just mere presence. It's about how we express ourselves. It's about how we engage with others. It's about really ultimately how we define our identity in ourselves. So in showing up, it encompasses both a tangible and intangible element of our presence. There's a surface level to it. So it involves our physical appearance, our body language, even what we wear in clothing, definitely our mannerisms. But it goes beyond that to encompass our emotions and our beliefs and our values. And we've talked a lot recently about our values and our belief system and how that defines who we are as people. Even our personas. So for me, the best way in a lot of my day to show up is to show gratitude, which is something I've been working on for a long time, and it's something I'm going to continue to do because I think it's important. Showing gratitude every day for me is important. It's how I show up. But also for me, and this is something that I learned early in the piece in my coaching journey, and I'm sure LJ did too, and I'll keep referring to LJ even though she's not here, is that we serve somebody else in some capacity. So we devote time to serving someone else or a group to help create a better life than they had the day before. And that's a coaching perspective for LJ and I, and that's how we show up in our way. Realizing this for all of us, even the smallest actions can change our lives or someone else's, and that's just by showing up. Interestingly, our identity evolves over time, and we can go into this and dive down rabbit holes as we always talk about in our podcasts. But we change over time because of how we develop, how we were parented, how we went through wins and losses in our childhood up to our teen years and then adult years, our traumas, our successes, everything that defines us. It changes our identity over time, and it is all shaped by our experiences, our relationships, even our cultural influences, which in turn, it all contributes to how we show up in various contexts. So in showing up, what I believe and what I think, and I will talk to LJ about this down the track so she can have her opinion, and I'd love to hear how she pulls this apart. But embracing authenticity, and we've talked about a lot about being your authentic self, being you. there's no perfect in anybody. There's no, and you cannot expect to be perfect in everything you do, but you can be authentic, and that is living your true life. So embracing authenticity and vulnerability in your interactions with others, and that is normal, that is human. It's okay to have flaws. It's okay to have royally stuffed up in your past and made huge mistakes. I think we all have. All of us have done this, and we've amended, we've fixed things, we've moved on, we've looked at our past, and we've tried to make sure things don't happen again. And there's some great things that have happened that we make sure that they do happen again. All of these things. Showing up is not about just conforming to external standards and what other people think and what other communities think, but rather it's about embracing your unique identity and allowing yourself to be seen and heard authentically. That's being you and being aligned with who you really are. If you can do that in your day, and you are definitely showing up, and you're showing up as yourself, which is, it's an important thing. It's so important to do that. So in this short podcast, I would like to refer to LJ's mum. And we've all had losses in our lives, and we've had people come and go, either be in relationships, or we've had loved ones that we've lost due to they've passed on. And it's good to reflect about these people as well as ourselves and look back and see how they show up, as well as seeing how we show up. So let's look a little bit about LJ's mum, and this is my tribute to LJ's mum for this podcast, and this is why LJ is not here, because I thought I just want to have a bit of a chat and just a bit of an explore about someone that I learned a lot about by going to a wonderful funeral service. It was sensational. So let's get started, shall we? So LJ's mum, I learned a lot through her just by listening to people talking during the day at the funeral. People that delivered lovely sentiments. People afterwards that were reminiscing and talking and discussing. One thing I found, which was a common thread, which is a really great thing on how to show up, is that she lived life on her terms. She lived her way and in alignment with her beliefs. So important. She genuinely loved her family and her extended family. She showed love in spades. She just loved everyone that was important to her. She's showing up. She devoted lots of time to the things that were important to her. Her garden was amazing. Her church, her family, her happiness. So you can see so far, even as I've just started in a little bit of notes that I've made, is that she was showing up for others, but also showing up for herself. She sang the loudest of all the church choir members without fear or embarrassment. I loved hearing about this. I loved hearing that in the church that she went to, which is where we went for the funeral, she would quite unashamedly be so loud and sing with so much happiness and joy, and she just showed up like that. She gave so much to so many, small gifts, small gestures, genuine care, loving comments. In her way of showing up, it didn't have to be huge. It didn't have to be working on the biggest thing on the planet. It was showing up in her way. How can we do this? It's really easy. Be your authentic self. Be you. Do it your way. Be vulnerable. Most importantly, regardless of whether you're having a good day, a bad day, show up. One thing I learned at this wonderful funeral service, the minister was talking about LJ's mum, And when LJ's mum was in hospital and she was not doing very well, the minister visited her and popped in to say hello. And even with her illness and pain and what she was going through, she still smiled as wide as she could. Her eyes lit up. And as the minister said, suddenly everything just went back to, she showed up. She was back there, front and center. So even in last days, even in challenging times, she still showed up. That is just amazing that even towards the end of someone's life, they still managed to show up. Some days you may not feel like showing up, me included. There's some days I just think, not today. It may be energy levels are down, something's happening in your life, something might be on your mind. Whatever it may be, my advice and what I like to do and coach other people, and I've done this with groups and people, is be bold, be brave. In some shape or form, for yourself and for others, show up as you are, unique and authentic. Because you just never know. And I did put this up on our Facebook page just recently about how do you show up. And one very, very important thing about showing up is you never know whose life you are impacting in a positive way. You may see it, you may not, but in you showing up for yourself as well, you just don't know. Out there, somebody may just have a better day because you did it. That's all I really want to say today. It's just a very quick podcast. I want to celebrate LJ's mum, and I want to say from all of us at Coach Talk, from the Coach Talk community, from all of us that are here that listen to the podcast, I want to send our love, our blessings and our care to LJ and her family. We think of you at the moment, and a legacy of a wonderful person who's now not with us is, let's all be bold as we are, unique, authentic, and start to show up. See what it does. That's about it from me today. Thank you very much. Thank you all for listening in. It's wonderful, and please give us your feedback. LJ will be back next time and we'll be rock and rolling with it all. So email us. We'd love to get your emails. It's been fantastic, the response we get from people from all around the globe. Let us know how you're going. Check in, say hi. If you want to follow us on Coach Talk, we're on Facebook, Instagram. Our website is coachtalk.com.au, and you can find all of our podcasts on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, all of those. Download them, have a listen, and let us know how you're traveling. Take care, everybody. Take care of yourselves and others. Remember, show up. Be yourselves, be unique, and be vulnerable. Enjoy your lives. And until next time, I'll see you later. Ciao. Bye-bye.